Thank you for joining. This presentation will cover the U.S. Highway 52 reconstruction project, including U.S. 52 from 4th Avenue Southwest to 7th Street South in Jamestown, North Dakota.
My name is Scott Harmstead, and I am a consultant project manager with SRF Consulting Group located in Bismarck. The consultant team also includes interstate engineering, primarily helping with survey, BAR engineering focused on river hydraulics, storm sewer design and geotechnical engineering, Martinez Geospatial assisting with aerial survey, and Juniper Environmental assisting with cultural resource review. The North Dakota Department of Transportation is the project sponsor in partnership with the City of Jamestown. This project involves three main elements. One is the reconstruction of US 52 from 4th Avenue Southwest, or the bottom of Mill Hill, northeast to 10th Street Southeast. Two is reconstruction of the intersection at 10th Street Southeast, and three is the restriping of 1st Avenue South from 10th Street Southeast north to 7th Street. A goal of the project is to gather input from property owners, businesses, residents, and others in the vicinity of the project. Outreach for this event included postcard mailers to each property abutting project corridor, social media information shared for distribution locally and with the Department of Transportation, as well as walking the corridor to hand out postcards to businesses along the corridor. On the day of the public input meeting, from 9:30 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon, project consultants and the Department of Transportation staff were available at the Alfred Dickey Library to meet with business and property owners along the project corridor. This was followed by a public meeting held from 5:30 to 7:30 in the evening at the same location, which included this presentation, boards with project information, and activities to solicit input from participants. A future opportunity for public input will have similar outreach and meeting format. Project development work will occur over several years and include 4 phases. Phase 1 included a brief review of project elements to be covered. We are currently in Phase 2, which involves development of project alternatives, environmental analysis, and public input opportunities. Phase 3 will take a selected project alternative into final design, coordination of utility conflicts, and the right-of-way process. Phase 4 is construction, which is anticipated to begin in 2027. So how did we get to this point? For some background, the project corridor is the most traveled in Jamestown. The need for improvements to at least to the intersection of 10th Street Southeast and US 52 was first identified in the city's 2015 Land Use and Transportation Plan. The city later audited the 2015 plan and at that time identified the intersection as the highest priority safety project. Project corridor is also important for active modes of transportation, such as walking and biking. This graphic shows data compiled from fitness apps, including paths of people engaging in various forms of active transportation in the project area over the past few years. The lighter or more white lines identify the more frequently traveled routes. US 52 stands out quite noticeably. There will be many issues to consider for this project. A handful of those issues are listed here. On the following slides, we will touch on some of these. The reason for this project is the current bridge crossing, which includes 2 separate bridges on the southwest leg of the intersection of US 52 and 10th Street Southeast. The westbound bridge was constructed first in 1933. Later, the eastbound bridge was added in 1960 to provide additional roadway capacity. There are issues associated with the age of the bridges that has prompted the Department of Transportation to request replacement of the structures. In addition, the walkways on the bridges do not meet current standards. They are narrow and close to traffic. There are also various environmental issues that need to be considered. These include, but are not limited to, obtaining different permits associated with crossing the James River, ensuring compliance with Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act, working through any potential impacts, direct or indirect, to adjacent properties, and adequately addressing public park impacts as required in the U.S. Department of Transportation Act of 1966. The consultant team will be preparing an environmental document to discuss the environmental issues and potential mitigation as required by the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA. And of course, there are transportation issues that will need to be addressed. I will touch on some of these issues in this presentation. There is a noticeable lack of pedestrian crossings throughout the project corridor, especially at the US 52 and 10th Street Southeast intersection. Also, where local streets intersect with US 52. Sidewalks and or paths also do not extend along all of US 52 between 4th Avenue Southwest and the intersection of 10th Street Southeast. For vehicles, the transition from 4 to 3 lanes on 1st Avenue South north of the intersection of 10th Street Southeast can create challenges for traffic attempting to merge. On US 52, the high frequency and close proximity of local street access and private driveways adds potential conflict points for churning vehicles. The consultant team has initiated analysis of traffic conditions in the project area. The analysis begins with understanding the sources of traffic that contribute to the project area, both in the present day and likely sources of traffic in the future. The graphic on the right shows traffic or trip origins in the city and surrounding area. The graphic on the bottom left shows 2022 approximate traffic volumes by line thickness in the city and surrounding area.
Recent traffic counts help to show approximate volumes of traffic in and around the intersection of US 52 and 10th Street Southeast as of 2022. US 52 is the busiest segment of the corridor. The dominant movement of traffic in the corridor is from US 52 to 1st Avenue South and vice versa, closely followed by US 52 to 10th Street Southeast and vice versa. The movement from 10th Street Southeast to 1st Avenue South and vice versa is the least used movement.
The consultant team modeled traffic in the year 2045 and assumed 1.1% annual growth to get there. This graphic shows what traffic volumes are forecasted to be in 2045, which is the top number. The 2035 forecasted volume is shown in the parentheses, and the 2022 rounded volumes are shown in brackets. The distribution of traffic through the corridor and the intersection of US 52 and 10th Street Southeast is expected to be similar to 2022, but with additional traffic. The next 3 slides show current, or 2023, modeled traffic operations and modeled future 2045 traffic operations. Traffic operations are evaluated by level of service, or LOS. Letters are assigned to classify how easily traffic is moving through an intersection. Level of service A and B is free flow, or close to free flow traffic. Level of service C is stable flow, or near free flow. Level of service D is approaching unstable traffic flow. Level of service E and F are unstable flow or a breakdown in operations. The Department of Transportation considers level of service D and above as acceptable traffic operations. The morning peak period of traffic, the midday peak period of traffic, and the evening peak period of traffic were all modeled to understand level of service at intersections in the project area. Level of service is indicated in the graphics with colored circle symbols. Green is level of service A or B, yellow level of service C, orange level of service D, and red level of service E or F. The split circles are for intersections with stop signs at the intersecting local street. The left half circle is overall intersection level of service, and the right half circle is level of service for cars waiting on the side street. Morning peak hour traffic is shown to operate smoothly along 52 and 10th Street Southeast, with some side streets showing increasing delay currently and in the future. Midday peak hour traffic is similar to morning peak hour, with increased delay at more side streets, both presently and into the future. Evening peak hour traffic is also similar to morning and midday, but with yet more delay at side streets in the project area. These side street delays mean it is difficult during these peak periods of traffic for cars waiting at stop signs to find gaps in traffic in order to turn left. It is important to note that level of service A or B is maintained through US 52 and 10th Street Southeast in all peak hours, both in the present and in the future. Analysis of the past 5 years of documented crashes in the project area is also being performed. At this time, the analysis shows that most crashes occur at the intersection of US 52 and 10th Street Southeast, and the intersection of US 52 and 10th Street Southwest. The good news is that most crashes are low in severity, most involving property damage only. However, pedestrian and bicyclist crashes have been documented at a noticeable frequency. On the past several slides, I highlighted many of the issues that the consultant team has identified in the project corridor. From what we are seeing with transportation needs in the corridor from all modes of travel, crash information, and the aging bridges, we will be evaluating a range of potential improvements to the corridor. Public input in coordination with the City of Jamestown and the Department of Transportation will be used to further inform and refine our information. As you may be able to tell, there will be a need to balance various needs, such as needs associated with vehicular traffic, active transportation, and bridge replacement. Moving the project forward, we will next evaluate input received from this public input event, use input in our analysis of the corridor to develop a statement of project need and purpose, or the goal of the project. Layouts or designs of project improvements will be developed and then shared at the next public input event in the first half of next year. So thank you for following this project. If you are willing to provide input, that would be greatly appreciated. Your comments with respect to the following questions would be helpful. First, what issues have you seen or experienced in the project corridor that you would like to share? Also, do you have your own thoughts about needed improvements to the corridor? Please contact Scott Harmstead at SRF Consulting Group with your comments and any questions. My phone number, email address, and mailing address are provided here. Thank you.